Hello, my friends. Welcome in. Welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, you might be thinking, what is this? Well, this is a Cybertruck. I actually rented it for another trip, another thing. Didn't work out, so we're doing it today. I don't know if you can see it off in the distance. Tess, the Model X, is over there in the driveway. So we're going to take a trip down to Houston from Addison, Texas. Don't worry, we will not be recording the entire thing. I'll kind of figure out what that looks like. But I wanted to kind of share with you some of my first impressions of the Cybertruck and how it compares to the Model X and why I'm so on the fence about getting one. But more about that here in a bit. So it's going to be taking us to a supercharger at Woody's, about halfway between here and Houston. So, hey, why keep you waiting? Let's get started. Now, a couple of things I don't know. I don't know if the Cybertruck will start self-driving from park. We'll find out. Also, bear with me. I've not been in a Cybertruck. I'm very used to the Model X, so you're going to see me fumbling with things. I don't know where things are. The software is very similar, but I don't know how to, we'll see. We'll just heads up. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's go. Oh, okay. So first question answered. It does start from park. Very good. Hey, we're already having a good time. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. We are on 14.1.7, right? So that's fantastic. A lot of stuff up here I don't really care about. I don't know. Lot of. It's so one thing that I really do love is I love this full self-driving visualization that you get here in the Model X and the Model S. It's much smaller. I love the instrument cluster on the Model X. Don't get me wrong, but this is fun. I could get swept up in that. Suspension's good fun. It did a little bit of a correction there, so it didn't hit the curb. Good stuff. Well, right out of the gate, this is fantastic. So you can see my rear view mirror here because the tonneau cover is closed, and so the actual rear view mirror does me no good. I've got the map up in the upper right-hand corner here in the Model X, as you know. This whole thing's just the map. So this is so much more fun than the map. And it's given me some information. I've got 2 hours and 8 minutes until we get to the supercharger. I'll probably cut in and out. I don't think I need to be, it doesn't need to be that long of a video, but in any case, the Cybertruck. And so a couple of initial thoughts here right away. I'm in standard mode. Let me just see, what are my modes? Okay, we park at destination. So we do have the Sloth, Chill, Standard, Hurry, and Mad Max. So we're in standard, and based on my experience, standard is what I prefer in version 14. Mad Max is a lot of fun, but that's more of a highway thing. We'll probably throw that into, we'll throw the Cybertruck into Mad Max when we get on the highway. I'll show you what that looks like a little bit. I have not played with Chill, and I have not played with Sloth. But I will be making videos on those for you in the Model X, probably not in the Cybertruck here today. So we've got the camera showing me down the left side of the truck as we threw on the turn signal indicator and moved over to the left. Again, in the Model X, all of that's happening in your instrument cluster here. So we did have a little turn signal indicator here. So my head was able to very quickly realize that we were turning to the left. And I've also now gotten myself into a position to where I'm quite comfortable using the cameras instead of my mirrors. So I'm perfectly okay with that scenario. A quick observation, the Cybertruck is a very smooth ride. The air suspension is quite comfortable. Also, not a ton of noise going on in here. It's very quiet. I haven't had a chance to test out the sound system. I've heard amazing things about it. Maybe I'll do that later when I'm not making a video, but I'm going to put that to the test. I'm going to listen to some old school banging music. It'll be a good time. But so far, I'm really enjoying the experience. I'm probably one of the few. I actually think the Cybertruck looks cool. If I were to buy one, I'd wrap it gloss black. I'd put some low profile, all-terrain 35s on it with custom aftermarket wheels, red calipers. It would look pretty slick. In a little while, I'll tell you why I'm considering not getting one, but we can circle back around to that. So far, I really like it. It's just a very comfortable ride. It's a very quiet ride. It's very roomy in here. Ton of, like, you could sleep up there. I don't even know what there's a lot of room up on the dash here. Like, I don't know if you can, I mean, I can't even reach it. Like, I feel like I would need to buy a tool to clean down there. So massive space there, but I don't imagine there's anything else you could do with it or change it anyway. You all have heard stories of the massive windshield wiper. Let's take a look at that. Oh my God, it's huge. It's a huge windshield wiper. Wow, that's good fun. I mean, it's effective, right? Check that out. Come on. This is great. I like it. I love my Model X. Like, I'm in no hurry to get rid of that car. But this is neat. This is fun. And so far, I haven't noticed anything with FSD that is different or concerning as of yet. Very smooth, nice acceleration. We're clear here, and we're gonna whip white in. Whip white in. Listen to me not being able to talk anymore. Okay, so we are up on the highway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in Mad Max. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go crazy. Mad Max. It does still cap out at 85 miles per hour. Mad Max is an assertive driving mode. It's going to do its best to stay at 85. It's going to weave in and out of traffic almost aggressively. So it really is, dependent upon your comfort level. Where are you? I have tens of thousands of miles behind the wheel using FSD. So my comfort level, I would say, is incredibly elevated. I am super comfortable with this technology. With that being said, I'm still always watching. I'm still always ready. But I am one of those that are in the camp of one day and one day soon, we won't have to supervise this. It's very, very good. The Model X that I've got is currently in 14.1.4. So this is a newer version of FSD, or maybe not, right? It's Cybertruck. Maybe that's just the version that was released. But in any case, it is a newer, minor version than what I'm running in the Model X. I feel like I want to give this another little clean here. That's a big windshield wiper. That's really cool. Fast. It's fast too. Good fun. All right, so we're cruising along at 65. Good thing too, there's a state trooper there running radar. I've not yet been pulled over using FSD, which surprises me because it's fast. In any mode, it's just speed limit. Thanks for the recommendation. Yes, this is cozy. This is comfortable. I'm enjoying myself. So here we've got the phone sitting in the wireless charging pads here. There's two of them. I have not found, and to be fair, I didn't spend a lot of time looking. I have not found any USB-C ports or anything of the like. There is a 110 plug in the center console, which I did plug my charger into, so problem solved, but it's a thing, right? I don't know where they are. I've seen a couple of aftermarket accessories. So I always like to joke with my wife because she's always complaining about a place for her purse, which is not in most vehicles. The Cybertruck down here, there's no center console, so there's a tray down there, and I joke with her. She doesn't want me to buy a Cybertruck. She thinks they're hideous, in her words. But that aside, I like to tell her, hey, there's a spot specifically for your purse, or built right into the Cybertruck. So there you go. While I was preparing for this trip, I pulled this vehicle out of the parking lot so that I could put the Model X in its space. So I didn't use FSD to pull out and do the U-turn and park it in another location. So I got to experience briefly the steer-by-wire, and it's unbelievable. The turning radius on this truck is better than any vehicle I've ever been in, with the exception of like a tricycle. Right? But it's a fantastic turning radius. So far, I'm really enjoying everything about this truck. Lots of interior space. I'm feeling a little heat from the sun here coming down on me, but I would feel that in any vehicle. On my Model X, I have the front windshield tinted so that it reduces and I would do the same on any vehicle I owned. The top glass behind me here, which you cannot see, seems fine. I'm completely okay with that. I wondered how that might feel. The seats are comfortable, quiet ride. I'm just talking to talk now, so I hope you're enjoying the conversation. So we'll get we'll get a little bit out of the city here. Yeah, it's quite windy out too. Kind of feel it a little bit, but this is great. I mean, Elon Musk, if you were looking for a super fan, you found one. This stuff blows my mind. Every single day. Little Model Y Juniper there. It surprises me how many Tesla owners don't use FSD. I would encourage you, just, you know what, go give it a shot. Go to an area that isn't too heavy in traffic, that you're comfortable with, and give it a shot. Practice with it a little bit. This is going to change your world. FSD is absolutely the future. As a matter of fact, I all of these aspirations that I had around things like Lamborghinis and Bentleys and, you know, sexy Porsches and all of these things, zero interest in any of those car brands. Maybe one day, speaking of which, Bentley Continental Coupe just passed us, which was a dream car of mine at one point. But I imagine other automakers at some point in time will come out with some version of self-driving technology. I've heard rumors that Tesla's considered licensing it, but I will not own a vehicle again that does not have FSD, with the exception of some need that I have, like a need to haul something that would require a 1-ton truck or a gooseneck, which I don't see happening. But if I ever needed a vehicle that needed to perform some specific thing that the Tesla is not capable of doing, that's the only scenario in which I would own. And even then, it would never be my primary driver. I mean, imagine with me for a moment as we're cruising down I-35 in Dallas, Texas here. You can see my hands. I am so completely relaxed right now. Normally, in my head, I'd be thinking, do I take the 35 east? It's crazy busy. Do I go to the left? Where's my exit? And you might not realize, you might be thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? That's not a big deal. It's, you know, it's kind of part of driving. FSD will show you that there are so many things about driving that are incredibly annoying. And you don't realize it until you don't have to deal with it. And like right now, as an example, I have no idea where we're going. We're going to Houston. I know how to get to Houston, right? I don't usually take this route through downtown, but you saw the I-35 east-south exit, that it was sitting still. So FSD, based off of map data, made the decision to come through downtown Dallas, which is really cool because now that gives you something neat to look at and a couple of other kind of test criteria to visualize here, some tests for FSD as we navigate through these city streets. But I didn't realize how mentally taxing driving is. And I know that sounds ridiculous to you, but until I got in a vehicle and didn't have to make all of the hundreds, possibly thousands of micro decisions when driving, right? And I guess it depends. Maybe you're the kind that just doesn't. Maybe you just go. But I'm always checking my mirrors. I always want to be aware of who's around me, and I still do that. I'm still looking at mirrors, but you're thinking about traffic, turning, lights, exits, merging. What's this car doing? Something as simple as turning into or merging into a lane on the highway. So the way that I merge is I turn on my turn signal. I look over my right shoulder to make sure it's clear. I look back in front of me to make sure nothing's changed there, right? I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you were merging to the right and then as you're merging, something happened? Somebody in the far right lane merged in, and you had to make a really quick micro decision there based on what's kind of happening. the Tesla's capable of seeing 360 degrees around itself. So it is better than I am at making those kinds of decisions. But anyway, I'll be quiet. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in traffic here. So observation, we're sitting still at a green light. And the reason is because we don't have room to go, right? Traffic's backed up, it's turning yellow, and FSD makes the decision to not go, which was the right decision. On that note, if you've seen some of my other videos, by the way, if you're new to the channel, I've got a ton of videos documenting FSD in my Model X, we call our tests. But there are a lot of times you'll come up to a stoplight, you're traveling at the posted speed limit, 45, 50, 55 miles per hour, whatever the case may be, and it'll turn yellow, but you have enough time to safely make it through the light. So the FSD will do that. It will roll through the yellow lights where appropriate. I'm really enjoying this. If I'm being completely honest with you, there was a piece of me that wished that I would find a reason to really not like it, because I love the Model X so much. But this is fun. This is neat. I like how roomy it is. The seats have a nice feel to them. It's very comfortable. It is a comfortable ride. The air suspension, I'm not sure what our ride height is right now. I don't know if I can see that. Ride height is off-road, medium. Oh, sorry, on-road, medium. So when you get in it, it's entry. That's a neat thing that the Cybertruck does for you, is when you park to get out, the truck lowers. So for you shorter Tesla lovers out there, you don't have to worry about that. And then when we get on the road, it's going up to medium here, right? And then there are other applications for the other ride heights. So FSD doing a nice job slowing down as the Expedition cut into our lane there. Just very observant. What did I do? Why did I do it? How do I... there you go. Somehow I interacted with it in such a way that brought the map into view here. Okay, there you go. Look at this. Look at this. Happy life, right? So I can kind of touch that area in the upper right-hand corner, swipe the map into view if I want to see some things, and then just get out of here, because this is the sexy view. This is a lot of fun. I like this. Leaves coming down. So while I have this, I have this truck all weekend long. Today is Friday. I picked it up today. I don't have to return it until Monday. So I'm hoping to find time to do a few more reviews for you here. This video, I'm not going to be on with you for 2 hours. So this video is not going to show parking at the destination, which is a thing that I've demonstrated in the Model X. Unless I maybe turn it back on and edit them back together, I don't know. But if I don't do it now, I'll create a video, a shorter video, maybe in the Houston area, that demonstrates what that looks. As a matter of fact, I have a dinner at Rupor in Katy tonight. If you haven't been to Rupor, their roux is awesome. Don't let the name confuse you. Okay, slowing down quite a lot here. There's a pedestrian in the crosswalk. Good to go. Nice. It's clean. It is smooth. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. So when I go to dinner tonight, I'll make that video from my son's house to Rupor. It'll be a nice little drive through Katy, and then we'll show parking at the destination. And it'll be an interesting test too. What is today? Friday? Yeah. So that area is going to be slam packed busy. Probably not going to easily find a parking lot. So it'll be a good opportunity to see how the Cybertruck and FSD kind of navigate that situation in finding a parking spot for us. So we have an unprotected left turn here. After these two cars go, we should have plenty of time to make this turn. Not going to happen. So a lot of pedestrians in the walkway right now and some additional traffic coming. But let's see what it looks like when we clear here. All right. Yeah, good. Good stuff. Lots of pedestrians. Just having a good time. Loving the trip. It's just, I don't think that there's going to come a day where I wake up and say I'm bored of this and I'm no longer interested. This technology is mind-blowing. By the way, if you haven't experienced it yet, you can go to any Tesla dealership and drive any car they have, Model S, Model X, Y, 3, Cybertruck, for free. It's no pressure. They don't. It's interesting. You've been to dealerships. I'm going to one Saturday. But the Tesla dealership, it's no pressure. You just walk in there like, hey, what's going on? I'd like to drive a Tesla. Cool, let me see your license. And it's that simple. So if you haven't tried FSD, go do that. Do yourself a favor and give it a shot. And if you buy a Tesla, shameless plug here, make sure you use my referral link because I get like $500. And why wouldn't you help me out? That'd be great. This is really great. What's my temperature? I'm comfortable. Let's take a look at right. So this is the same as it is on the Model X. I can control my air here, and I can hear the vents, the motors and the vents shifting around there. So I'm comfortable with this. Maybe we just point this over towards the camera a little bit. These have a tendency to get hot on us. And that's it. I'm good. This is really fantastic. Okay, so we are getting on US 75 here and 0.1 mile. It's up here. Looks like there's going to be some traffic up there. And oh, look, I left it in Mad Max going through the city. I usually turn it off. I don't normally like to be in Mad Max when I'm not on the highway because, well, you know, it's Mad Max. DART train there that we're waiting on. I may or may not speed this up. We'll see. I know you don't like to sit here and listen to silence. And I have a little app that I plug my little software that I use that I can say things like edit here. And it'll find it for me and tell me which timestamp. Oh, all right. Did you see that? It went up and it went down. So maybe another DART train coming. ETA, let's see here. Can I expand this and see what my ETA is at my destination? 6:48 p.m. My ETA to Woody's Smokehouse is 4:15 p.m. Marvelous. Okay. So that's fluid. I've already gotten used to the way that works. Again, in the Model X, it's really just the map. You're not, well, and, you know, music, phone, all these other things. But so swipe to move things around, close them. Okay, so interesting. Let's see what FSD does here. We've seen these gates come down twice since we've been sitting here. Does it make sure, okay, so the light's red. It's sitting until it can confirm that, no, it's just going to stay. I'm actually confused. I'm a little confused. We could go, I don't know what's happening. So we have this red light here, but I'm not really sure what it's talking to. I'm confused. Let's see, let's give it a little juice to let it know that we can go ahead and go through the light. I don't know. It's mad at me. It doesn't like that I'm doing that. It's fine. Okay, look. If I can't figure out what's happening with the light and the intersection, I'm certainly not going to fault FSD for it. That made zero sense to me. So, like, technically, I feel like I just ran a red light, right? Whatever. It was red. FSD wasn't going to go. I saw other cars going, so I forced it. In any case. Nice. Further to the left, and you can see we're clear here. So handling all of this just fine. Although I do feel like we probably should have gotten on the highway. Maybe we missed that ramp. Right here, right? Oh. Let's bring it into view. I feel like there was an opportunity to get up on the highway here. Now, they're sitting still up there, to be fair. So I don't know if it was an accidental miss or an intentional miss to avoid traffic, but in any case, there was a ramp to get onto the highway here. So we're going to go down a couple of lights, hang a left, and then get on the highway a little further down. And then it doesn't look like we have any massive traffic issues to be concerned with. Okay. Little hesitation there, I think, trying to just decide what this Tesla is going to do. Model Y here. Going through, and we're going to stop here because we don't have enough room to go. Great, good stuff. Everything's okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I hope the camera position's good for you. This is the first time I've mounted it in the Cyber. Wow, that camera is smoking hot. Good Lord. It's definitely going to die. Let me, here. Just feeling for the air. I'll put both of them up on it. That might help. Let's make it a little colder. And the camera's super hot. That's crazy. I wonder what would happen if I pull the battery out of it. Oh, we're going. Here we go. Okay. All right, so flashing yellow light here on this left turn, currently unprotected, and there's traffic, so there's not much we can do about it. I wonder what would happen if I yank the battery out of this. I do have the power plugged in. Since this light is turning red, I'm going to run that experiment right now. Hopefully I don't lose you. If I do, well, you won't know. All right, so guess what? Apparently I can't pull the battery out of an Insta360 even if it is plugged into power. So I lost you there for a second, but all we did was turn left, and now we're getting up onto the highway here to continue our trip on down to Houston. We were talking about camera positioning, and when I touched it, it was super hot. It still is, so it's likely going to die at some point in time. Bump the air down a little bit more to try to get some cold air on the camera. Anyway, super comfortable. We are still in Mad Max. We're still dealing with a bit of traffic here. All right, so let me talk a little bit about why I'm hesitant about buying a Cybertruck. So let me start off by saying I'm not an engineer. And I haven't talked to anybody at Tesla. I've been doing some research. So the reason that I rented the truck initially, right? I have a 2020 Heartland Fuel 287 toy hauler, which weighs 9,000 pounds. It's 36 feet long. And it has a tongue weight, as loaded, of 1,600 pounds. Now, the Cybertruck's towing capacity is 11,000 pounds, so we're good there. No problem. The maximum tongue weight capacity, however, is 1,100 pounds. Okay, so the tongue weight of my trailer is 500 pounds overweight. Now, so a little bit of weaving here because we have this construction truck on the shoulder. So my trailer is 500, the tongue weight is 500 pounds over the specification for the Cybertruck. So another thing that I think is probably fair for me to say is I don't like to be over spec on anything, any truck. Originally I had an F350 because I have two campers. I have that one and a fifth wheel. Long story short, sold it, bought Tesla. Now I rent trucks when I want to pull my campers. You can judge me if you want. It's fine. So, I always want to make sure that whatever I'm hauling is under spec for my truck. I'm not going to debate whether or not it can handle it. That's my preference. An F250 as an example, more than capable of pulling my fifth wheel. In fact, that's what I started with. I had an F250. But technically I'm over spec. The payload capacity of the fifth wheel exceeded the payload capacity of the truck. Can the F-250 all day long? The F-250 can pull it. Can the Cybertruck pull my 9,000 pound toy hauler? Yes, the answer is yes. The reason that I chose not to pull the camper with the Cybertruck is because and I can't remember his name. If I find it, maybe I'll link it below. I saw, well, Whistling Diesel did one where he broke the hitch off of the Cybertruck. That's not the one I'm talking about. There was another guy who hooked up an excavator to the hitch on the Cybertruck and applied downward pressure on it until it broke. Now you might be saying, Mike, that's ridiculous. You know, the tongue weight specification for the Cybertruck is 1,100 pounds. In this video, it took 10,300 pounds of downward force to break the hitch off of the truck. And so right there tells you everything that you really need to know. Is it's actually a good test. And that test is, wow, the truck was able to handle almost, 10 times as much as what it's specified for. The reason that I chose not to pull the camper, even with all of those things being true, is the hitch broke off. That's it. It broke off. Right? So we're not talking about a little bit of a bend. We're talking about a hitch snapping off of a truck. Now, you might be saying, that's ridiculous. There's no real world scenario that you could experience that would apply 10,300 pounds of downward pressure on the hitch of your truck. To which I would say you're probably right, but what if there is a scenario? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a railroad track. Maybe it's a crazy pothole. Maybe something happens that for a moment in time, there is in fact 10,300 pounds of weight applied to that hitch. Anyway, that aside, I'm going to circle back around to what I just said. In that video, as extreme as unrealistic as it is, the hitch broke off the truck. So me, as a driver, I can't imagine a scenario where I would want to be driving down the road and my hitch snap off the truck if it were under load, right? When you think about the consequences of that scenario, number one, I'm overweight, so technically warranties are voided, and insurance could potentially deny the claim. So now I have to come out of pocket for the cost of the truck. Number two, you're talking about a potential loss of life scenario where your trailer snapped off of your truck and, whatever could potentially come of that. And you might also be saying to yourself, well, Mike, anytime you're towing a trailer, these things it's possible for things to, happen and go wrong. And you wouldn't be wrong. The point that I'm trying to make is I'm not very comfortable with the idea of a hitch snapping off the truck, no matter how unrealistic the scenario is. My second concern, that is, even if I could figure out a way to resolve that in my head, my second concern is the frame is aluminum. And I'm not going to get into the technical specificities because I'm not an engineer and I don't remember all the things the guy said. But the short story is, over time, aluminum will weaken. And so if I continue to put the hitch and thus the frame under stress, at some point in time, it will have weakened enough to the point where a normal load under specification could potentially snap the hitch off the truck. So I just got a notification, speed limited to 85 miles per hour. So that's likely due to the fact that this is a rental and the owner of the truck has that specified. It's interesting to me because I haven't seen my Model X go above 85, and it sounds like it just tried to do that, but in any case, back to the story. And so I have this kind of fundamental issue with purchasing a truck that the more I use it, the more likely it is to break. Now, if you're an engineer or you know an engineer, or your name is Elon Musk, I would love to learn more about this, because maybe I'm just like, I want to love the Cybertruck. I want the Cybertruck. And I'll even go a step further. I actually don't plan to use it that much as a truck. I might pull a pontoon boat or some jet skis, you know. So I'm gonna have to listen to this all day, I suppose. Which again, I think it's just a setting in the app because it's a rental, and the truck keeps wanting to go higher. And anyway, or maybe it's set in the app. Maybe I'll look at it when I stop. Maybe we can take care of that. But I want to love the Cybertruck. I want to buy a Cybertruck. I won't even use it that much as a truck. I will, right? It's got a full-blown 6-foot bed. It's got a hitch. I will tow things. But I wouldn't constantly have it under stress. So I'm like, the reality is I'm not even that concerned about it. But I'll tell you another fun little quirk my wife loves about me. I'm a stickler for things doing what they were made to do. So if you're a phone and you play videos really well and you can game on it, but you don't handle phone calls very well, I don't like you as a phone. Like, I won't buy you, even if I bought it to play games. It's this fundamental principle that I have. Like, all things that are created should do the things they were created to do. And if you are a pickup truck, for your entire life, you should be able to do the things that a pickup truck can do, which, according to my definition, is tow things. And if the more I tow a thing, which is part of the definition of your fundamental purpose, the greater the chances is that at some point in time I'm going to break your hitch right off of your aluminum frame, then fundamentally speaking, that doesn't reconcile in my head. And I'm struggling with it because, like I said, I literally want a Cybertruck. I love this thing. To me, it's just cool. I'm in that camp. I think it looks neat. It's, as a vehicle, functionally incredibly good. It's fast. It's faster than any pickup truck I've ever been in. It's smooth. The air ride suspension, the ability to, with your ride height adjustments, the fully functional 6-foot bed, the included, electric tonneau cover. I could go on. I'm a fan. But if there's a chance that your hitch could rip off of the frame, thus totaling the truck, I have some concerns there. So I'll throw the invite out there one more time. If you're into metallurgy and you're an engineer, a structural engineer, you're Elon Musk and you like to watch the Tesla Truth YouTube channel, give me a call. I want to learn more about that truth and whether, if it is true, what are some things that we can do in the future to harden that, maybe a larger aluminum frame? I don't know. But I would love for that to be solved in my head. We are an hour and a half away from our destination, which is the Supercharger at Woody's. By the way, no offense, Woody's. Note the Windmill there. I have a story for that here in a minute. I'm not a big fan of your barbecue. Hate to say it. I don't like to do that. But so when you're driving south on 45 from Dallas to Houston, you have Woody's on both sides of the highway. It's a really neat kind of mini Buc-ee's, right? Lots of neat things to buy in there. And they have a full-blown barbecue restaurant. And I just feel like they missed the mark, right? So if I own a barbecue restaurant and I've made the investment to put the barbecue restaurant on both sides of the highway, which I love that, by the way. I'm going to make damn sure that my barbecue is the best barbecue within like 100 miles. And that just wasn't the case. Like I felt let down by it. I'm willing to try it again. Maybe it was an off day, but I just feel like that's a thing that you should just really nail, in my opinion. Back to the Windmill. So last week, my wife and I went up to Boston, and while we were there, we went down to the Cape and Martha's Vineyard, and we stayed in a little town called Falmouth. If you're from there and you're mad at me for the way I said that, sorry. I do the best I can. Anyway, Falmouth. And the day before we left, we were listening to the news, watching the news. They have these big windmills. You just saw the blade. These things are like 80 feet long. One of the windmill blades broke off of the windmill and landed in a cranberry bog in Falmouth, Massachusetts. So there's a couple of really neat things happening here. A, I didn't know what a cranberry bog was. and this is where they grow cranberries. So this 80-foot propeller blade fell off of the windmill into the cranberry bog. Nobody died. Nobody was hurt. We lost thousands of cranberries. Anyway, so the next day when we're leaving and we're pulling out, the first thing I saw was the windmill with the missing blade, which that is a sight to see, I'll tell you. So we were able to see it off to the left-hand side of the highway there, the windmill with 2 blades, 1 missing. As we got closer, we could see this 80-foot blade laid across the cranberry bog. And it was just a neat experience, and I'm glad I shared it with you, because now you know. Now you have it too in your head. Okay, so I'm gonna wind this down here in a little bit, because there's nothing more for you to see. There's little traffic. We are in Mad Max, and so it's gonna get boring for you. And I think we're probably at like 40 minutes anyway. I accomplished my mission, which was, hey, let me show you how the Cybertruck does on FSD 14.1.7, which we did. We were on the highway, we were in the city, now we're on the highway. As promised, when I get into Houston later, I'll make another video which shows you kind of an A to B destination thing where we park in the parking lot. I love the Cybertruck. It rides super smooth. It's super quiet. I'm a huge fan. The steer-by-wire is amazing. The FSD visualization is amazing. Just sold for life on this tech, on these cars. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you didn't get too bored. I hope you found something helpful and informative, and that you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. That's how YouTube keeps y'all coming in, and we always appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.